Imagine that you've been fired from your own company. Not just any company, the one you built from nothing when you're broke. One day, you're on top of the world. The next, you're out. Gone. That's Steve Jobs. They didn't just fire him. They erased him. They told the world Apple didn't need the founder, that he was the problem. And just like that, at 30 years old, Jobs had no company, no product, no purpose. So what does he do? He disappears, travels, searches for meaning. Then he finds something unusual. A failing little animation studio, Pixar. They weren't making movies. They were making hardware, computers for animators. But nobody was buying them. Jobs didn't care because he saw something in them. Maybe he saw himself, a group of visionaries trying to change the world. So he bet on them. $5 million, then $10 million, then 20. His fortune poured into a company that never made a single hit. For years, Pixar bled money. Investors told Jobs to shut it down. He refused. Then, one day, something changed. Pixar stopped trying to sell computers. They decided to make a movie. The first fully computer-animated film in history. It was bold. It was risky. It was almost impossible. And Disney? They weren't convinced and almost canceled the project. But Jobs believed, and he fought for it. And in 1995, Toy Story hit theaters. It wasn't just a success, it was a revolution. Pixar wasn't a failure anymore. It was the future of animation. And Jobs? He became a billionaire overnight. But the real story isn't just about Pixar's success. It's about what happened next. Because while Pixar was soaring, Apple was dying. The company that fired Steve Jobs was on the brink of collapse. Stock prices were crashing. Products were failing. Apple was desperate. And guess who they called? The man they once erased. Steve Jobs walked back into Apple, not as the fired founder, but as the man who built Pixar. He wasn't just an innovator anymore. He was a visionary. And he gave something Apple deserved, a second chance. Over the next decade, he didn't just save Apple, he turned it into the most valuable company in the world. iMac, iPod, iPhone, everything Apple is today started after that moment. You see, the smartphone on your hands right now may have a different story if he wasn't betting on Pixar. So, next time you see a Pixar movie, remember this. It wasn't just a revolution in animation. It was touched by Steve Jobs.